Today I'm going over with you guys 10 different fragrances to attract the ladies, as chosen by my wife. Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. As I mentioned, today we're going over 10 different fragrances that are fantastic for pulling attention of the positive kind. I had my wife just go through every fragrance here, and I basically said, hey, pick whichever fragrances you think are the most attractive. The fragrances that if you smell them on somebody else, you would think, oh, that person really knows what they're doing. Let's jump right into it. The first fragrance is this one, Citra Boise from Mancera. Some people will actually compare this fragrance to Creed's Aventus. I don't really think they're super similar, but I understand what people are saying when they do bring up that comparison. This one's got a lot of fruitiness to it, especially lemon and black currant in the opening, so it's gonna give you this tartness when you first spray it on. As it dries down, you're gonna get a little bit of leather that comes out in the base. This one's also got some cedar in the base, so it gives you this nice clean woodiness as it dries down, and it's super versatile. You can use this basically year-round, daytime or nighttime. You can wear it to the office, casually, or even on a date. This is one of the most popular fragrances from the house, and for a good reason, and it's the first one that she chose. For this next fragrance, she actually went through each fragrance in the entire line. So she went through the original, this one, and 2 other flankers, and this is the one that she liked the most. Stronger With You Intensely from Emporio Armani. Now this one does get a decent amount of hype as a really big compliment pulling fragrance for fall and winter, and for a good reason, because that's actually exactly what it is. It's got toffee, it has cinnamon, it has vanilla. This one is very sweet, has kind of a gourmand or almost edible edge to it. And people just really, really love this one, especially in colder weather. It cuts through the cold, pulls a whole lot of attention. Maybe not the most hyper unique thing on earth because it is basically just a play on the original's DNA, which makes sense. It is just Stronger With You Intensely. But if you're after just positive attention, absolutely check this one out. The next fragrance is from Parfums de Marly. You might think that it's Leighton because she has talked on this channel many, many times about how she loves Leighton. And actually, Leighton was one of the runners-up for this video. But this fragrance is Carlisle. This one has patchouli, tonka, green apple, and rose. Actually, interestingly, this is the first of a few different fragrances that have green apple in it. So interesting how that worked out. This gets compared sometimes to Mancera's Red Tobacco. Kind of like a more wearable, more versatile take on the Red Tobacco DNA. This one is not as aggressive in the opening as Red Tobacco is, but it has all of the appeal of Red Tobacco. The dry down in this is freaking great. As far as pulling compliments, this is gonna be one of the better niche fragrances you're ever gonna find. Just a stunner for fall and winter. The next one is a newer fragrance, came out this year. It's from Viktor Rolf, and it is Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. This one also has green apple. It's got pistachio, it has green cardamom, and it's a big improvement, in my opinion, over the Eau de Toilette. Night Vision EDT did not get a ton of love. That one just kind of came and went and nobody really cared. This one though, much better. There are a ton of notes in this fragrance. You can look them up online, go to Fragrantica or wherever. There's a whole lot going on here. Essentially what you need to know though, is that this is nearly a year-round versatile kind of fragrance. It's the type that you can wear to the office, on a date, casually with friends. You can basically do anything with it, and it's going to garner you positive attention. It is not super spicy in the way that the original Spice Bomb or Spice Bomb Extreme are, but it does probably have more versatility than those fragrances. Just an extremely wearable, extremely likable fragrance, almost a blue fragrance the way that it's made, basically just made to appeal to as many people as possible, and it does. Sorry to interrupt this video. Super quick announcement. My brand, Galleria Parfums, has a discovery set that is now available on the website, galleriaparfums.com. I've got a link in the description to the website. This is how it's gonna come. It looks really nice. You have a sample of each of the 7 fragrances that I launched the brand with. They're gonna come packaged like so, individually boxed with at least 1.5 milliliters of fragrance per sample. And you're also gonna find a card inside which you can use to save a lot of money. up to $650 worth. I worked with the who's who of perfumers to come up with these fragrances, including Bertrand Duchaufour, Francis Kurkdjian, Sydney Lancashire, and more. Let's jump back into the video, link in the description, check these out. This next fragrance is really affordable. It's from the House of Montblanc. It is Legend Spirit. It's got grapefruit, watery notes, musk. The original Legend is basically Montblanc's take on Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. This is essentially Montblanc's take on Invictus Aqua. Invictus Aqua, huge compliment pulling fragrance. Legend Spirit, huge compliment pulling fragrance. Some people actually prefer Legend Spirit to Invictus Aqua. They think it's not quite as aggressive or bubblegummy sweet. And so a number of people will actually say that this one is the better between the two. In my opinion, the Legend line is actually solid all the way across the board. They don't cost a whole bunch of money, very easy to wear fragrances, and Legend Spirit, one of her favorites. The next one is very obvious as far as attention grabbing fragrances go, but just because it's obvious doesn't mean that it's not true. Versace Arrows, just the eau de toilette. She still really digs it, even after all this time. And I could be misremembering, but I feel like when I very first got Arrows that she wasn't as enthralled with it, but then over time, as she smelled it, she was just like, oof, I love it. And this is another one with green apple. Also has mint in there. The mint in Arrows is not like a really super realistic mint. It's kind of a syrupy sweet mint, but you're gonna find that in a lot of designer fragrances, especially designer fragrances made to be, you know, big attention grabbers. There's also tonka in here and vanilla, kind of adds more sweetness as it dries down. This one is a really big clubbing fragrance. So if you're a clubber, well, when clubs are a thing again, Arrows is one to check out. Arrows Flame and Arrows Eau de Parfum also are really good. Actually, for me personally, I would rather wear Arrows Flame or Arrows Eau de Parfum over the Eau de Toilette, but that's the one she chose. Up next is one that I'm pretty sure she chose because she smelled it on me a number of times and she likes it. It's Michael Kors for Men. This one is the more recent release, so if you buy this now, this is gonna be the one that you're gonna get. It's got star anise, incense, elemi, and suede. Also has kind of a tobacco-like scent profile as well. In the previous version of Michael Kors for Men, there was tobacco as a note, but then they changed it up and removed it, but it still smells like there's a little bit of that tobacco in there. This one's really nice and rich and warm, fantastic for fall time, great daytime or evening fragrance. And you can sometimes find that in TJ Maxx stores in the US. So if you're at a rack store, you may occasionally run into that one. Now this next one, when she told me she wanted me to include this one, I was like, all right, gotcha. It's the One Gray. And just a few days ago, I made a video on this one where I said that I thought it was underrated. So when she picked this one out of thousands of fragrances, had to give her a thumbs up. It's got grapefruit, vetiver, and tobacco as some of the notes in the fragrance. This one basically takes the One DNA and turns it into an office-safe, daytime kind of fragrance. A lot of people did not like that. Didn't sit well with a bunch of people. The emphasis on the clean vetiver here was not really appreciated by a lot of people. They preferred, you know, the way that the One has always been, and that's with that emphasis on sweetness and spices. Instead of that really sweet, rich, sort of ambery scent profile, they went with a cleaner vetiver kind of scent profile. And the name makes sense, Dolce & Gabbana, the One Gray. It's not exactly, but to an extent, it would be like if you took gray vetiver and the One and mashed it up together a little bit. So gray makes sense for this. I actually like it a lot personally, but I know a bunch of people out there don't. Next up is this one, Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum. Not really a big surprise. It's got apple, it has ginger, it has amberwood. This one has been one of my most complimented fragrances since I first picked it up. And my wife just loves it. As far as blue fragrances go, that one nowadays is most likely my most worn one. I tend to wear it more than Bleu de Chanel, more than Sauvage. It just works off my skin fantastically. Anytime I'm going out with a lot of people, if I want to wear something that I know is just going to be a huge hit, grab that one. And that's gonna take me to the last one on this list. It is one that the community does not love, but it's actually really, really good for positive attention. Guilty Black. The Gucci Guilty line is not a line that gets a whole bunch of love at all, actually. And I really don't like a lot of the Gucci Guilty fragrances, so I get it. This one, I'm not even necessarily in love with, but my wife is. It has green notes, it has lavender, it has coriander. Interestingly, looking at this bottle and the name, Gucci Guilty Black, you would think this is gonna be really dark, really mysterious, and like sexy and rich, but it isn't. It's actually pretty fresh and green. So not at all what this gives off, other than that dark green on the top of the bottle. And for sure, people that are really into fragrances as art or super unique fragrances are gonna smell Guilty Black and be like, oh, that is complete trash. And yet, most everyone that you ever meet that smells that fragrance is gonna be like, that smells good. So yeah, springtime, summertime, day or evening, Gucci Guilty Black is gonna be a big compliment puller. So there we go, 10 different fragrances, all hand chosen by my wife. These are fragrances that she said personally, if she smelled them on somebody else, she would think, wow, they smell great. Do I love each and every one of these? No, but she's the one that came up with this list. I just presented it. So there we go, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.